It's always an exciting time on Healthy Living with yours sincerely, Oluije Oifofai. Today on Healthy Living, we'll be looking at something that some persons may think it's not serious. Yes, I can see everything about me, my body, my system. My eyes are okay, so I need not go to the hospital. Anyways, today we'll be looking at World Glaucoma Week. It has been a long stretch for glaucoma. Now looking at the symptoms, possible remedies, and the need for you to go check your eyes. To do that with us today is the person of Dr. Dalintes Oronsaye. She is the consultant ophthalmologist, University of Benin Teaching Hospital. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Okay, now, funny enough, myself and Dr. Dalitras, I did go to the hospital today to go check my eyes. Yes, last week was World Glaucoma Week.
Yes.
And the sensitization about go for eye checkup and all of that. So I said to myself, yes, I will go do my eyes check. And funny enough, yes, it came out well and I was indeed glad. So, okay, now, first off, what is glaucoma?
So glaucoma is a group of eye conditions that affects the back of the eye, the optic nerve. That's the nerve that we used to see, the nerve of vision. So it's that nerve carries information from the eye to the brain. It's what helps us to see. So what glaucoma does is that it causes progressive destruction of the fibers of progressive, yes.
So it takes time.
Oh yes, it takes time. So for different people, different times. So it causes destruction of the nerve, and in that way causes blindness in the end stage. Eventually, when like
for
I said,
prolonged time.
Yes, for a prolonged time. So that's essentially what glaucoma is. So sometimes it's associated with raised pressures inside the eyes, but there are also some kinds of glaucoma that the pressures are within normal, but there's still damage to the back of the eye. So for lay people, I usually like to call that nerve, like just imagine a wire. So imagine a wire, even charging wires, as they continue to get freed, as they get thinner and thinner, after some time they start to malfunction, and after some time they stop charging our phones or are unable to use them to connect or to our laptops or like that. So I'm just using that analogy
as an illustration.
Yes, as an illustration to explain what glaucoma, how deadly glaucoma can be.
Okay. Now you're talking about the rays. What kind? Someone will be wondering, what kind of rays are we talking about?
Rays.
Yes.
Rays for glaucoma.
Yes. We're talking about rays in the eyes.
So when we talk about rays in the eyes, it's just so it's in relation to vision. For you to see clearly, the rays of light have to enter into your eye, pass through. Everywhere has to be transparent. Pass through, then go through the nerve to the brain. So that's it.
Okay, so someone that is often exposed to the television, computer, the phones, the lights, is that person prone to
having glaucoma? Not exactly. So what such a person may have may be eye strain from prolonged staring at the screen. Yes. So the eyes start to feel tired. You start to have tears coming out of the eyes, and over time the person may experience some blurring of vision. So you may have to now rub your eyes for that to go away. So it's mostly eye strain that would cause.
Okay, now it's been a long week. Now it started on the 9th.
Yes,
and ended on the 16th.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Yes. Now, how has the sensitization been so far? Or how was the sensitization like when it all started, and what were the results of the glaucoma week?
Okay, so fine. This week we set out to educate the public about glaucoma. So it was for us in UBTH, we had these videos playing every day at the eye clinic, and then we're telling people to come check their eyes. And then we know that every Friday at CDC and UBTH, they can always go check their eyes, even outside of this glaucoma week. Then even outside of UBTH, I know in other states, other hospitals, like even within Edo State, they all went on this sensitization drive. We're talking a lot about glaucoma on social media, in our clinics. It was, so this week, I think that I hope that we reached a lot of people. So it was in English, in our local dialect, just to tell people about glaucoma, how serious glaucoma is. And you know, the annoying thing about glaucoma is that it's usually referred to as the silent thief of sight, because there are no symptoms in the early stages. So many times we discover that people have glaucoma when they just come for other things, or maybe for routine checks, or when they come to change their glasses or something. So just because mostly it doesn't cause any pain, we want people to have this habit of checking their eyes. I know people are afraid that, oh, when you go to the hospital, the doctor will definitely see something. But you came to the clinic today, and we gave you a clean bill of health.
Nothing was found, yes.
Yes. So it doesn't always happen that way. So it's better you know.
Okay, fine. Now, at what age would we say we need to start getting scared in order to go for checkup and all of that?
So glaucoma can affect any age. Even children can be born with it. But generally, we tell people that when they reach 40 years, apart from checking for other things, they should start checking their eyes for this glaucoma, if possible, every year. So one thing I always tell people is you can link it up with your birthday or something, or an anniversary, or if you're in the kind of office that does annual medical checks, you should advocate that your eyes should be included in the medical checks, so that every year you are having a comprehensive check just for your eyes and for the rest of your body.
Your system.
Yes.
Okay, so talking about early detection. Now, you said someone might just come into the clinic for something else, and all of a sudden the person has been told, oh, you're having glaucoma. Now, the early symptoms or the early detection, does it help?
It does, definitely. The early detection of glaucoma would help determine whether you need to start treatment on time. And starting treatment on time would most of the time automatically mean that we get to retard, slow down, or halt the progress of the condition, glaucoma. So it's important that people come before they start having symptoms. And the symptoms that they can have sometimes is frequent change of glasses. Some people just within a year, they're changing their glasses up to 3 times. So normally, when you have glasses, especially for adults, we say change your glasses review your refraction, review your glasses prescription every 2 years. But if within a year you are changing so much, then something else may be the cause of your poor vision. Then some people may complain about bumping into objects. Like I said, you don't want these symptoms to start before you come. So the glaucoma happens in a funny way. It affects the peripheral vision. So seeing to the sides. For example, as I'm looking at you, I can see you clearly, but I can also see the cameras. That's in my peripheral field. So for a person with advanced glaucoma, the person may just be seeing straight ahead and not seeing anywhere else. So imagine such a person walking. So such a person may bump into tables, chairs, things that are the side. The person may stumble.
Something that is glaring.
Yes, it's glaring. The person may stumble down steps or stairs because they're not seeing to the sides. So they may also complain of blurred vision. They may say that colors are not appearing as bright as before. I know, yes, this can be a symptom of cataract, but if you're experiencing this, and then most of the time, I didn't mention before, it happens, it affects the two eyes, but it can affect one eye more than the other. So it's very important that you check from time to time how much you can see. Close one eye, look, close the other eye, look, and then you know that, oh, one eye sees better than the other. If one eye sees better than the other, why? Why is that so? So our bodies are in such a way that we are always trying to compensate for some of the deficiencies that we may have. So a person not seeing very well in one eye may not know until they come to the clinic, because the other eye is trying to compensate for the other.
Okay.
So that's also another thing that one should look out for, poorer vision in one eye. Then that's basically it. There's a kind of glaucoma that can cause pain, but not many people have that.
Okay. So in the nutshell is you should go for regular eye checkup.
Checks, yes.
Now, someone said when you're looking at an object, you ought to see the side version of the eyes and see the other side. Now, the person actually said, if you're looking at an object and you're not seeing your side view on your right hand and seeing your side view on the left hand, that is a cause for concern.
Oh, yes.
How true is that?
But it's true. Very true. So it may just be an indicator that something is happening to the back of one eye. So unless you are very observant, one may not notice that you're not seeing. Because like
looking
I said,
at you now, I can actually see the side of
yes, and so you can imagine if a person with with advanced glaucoma or someone not seeing to the side is driving. So that's why sometimes when I see some reckless drivers, I just tell myself, oh, it's possible they have glaucoma, it's possible they have something obstructing their peripheral peripheral view. So it's very important.
Okay. Now there was this image I saw the image of one that has glaucoma and another that had cataract. The pulpit of the person that had glaucoma was different from the one that had cataract. Now the one for the glaucoma, there was this white, let's say, sensation or white object
within the pupil.
Yes,
I think that's cataract.
Within.
Yes.
Then that of the glaucoma was a wider white patch. I don't know how that is.
Okay. I think, so one of two things. You probably have seen the picture just trying to depict how a person with glaucoma and a person with cataract would see. So a person with cataract would just have this generalized blurry vision. It's cloudy. Everything is cloudy. So beneath people will say seeing is piri. So the whole place is just looks a little smoky or dewy. So that's cataract. And it gets worse over time. For glaucoma, the person just sees just a tiny aspect of the center, especially in advanced cases. Then another thing too is that in cataract affects is just whiteness of the lens. The lens inside the eye is immediately behind this brown part of our eyes. Normally it's transparent. By the time it starts getting white, it's what we call cataract. So cataract is more towards the front of the eye. Glaucoma affects the back of the eye. So for someone with cataract, if you are looking at the pupil, you can see you're likely to see something white there. That's the cataract. So for a person with glaucoma, especially a young person that doesn't have cataract, the pupil will appear relatively okay to you. But now this is going advanced. For someone with advanced glaucoma, the pupil may not react so well to light. It may just appear really large. And so, but within it wouldn't be, if it's a young person, wouldn't be white. But you just notice that the pupil is just larger than normal. Or it's not responding to light like it should.
All right, if you just joined us, we're looking at World Glaucoma Week. It's definitely was a long week, yes, started on the 9th and ended on the 16th. Now, for the United Nation to say yes, that this is something we need to look at on. That means it's something you also need to take very, very serious. We'll go on a short break right now, and when we come back, Dr. Dalitrius is still with us on Healthy Living. All right, if you just joined us, we're looking at glaucoma. First off, we haven't talked about the theme of this year's 2025 World Glaucoma Week. Looking at uniting for a glaucoma-free world. I don't know how sure are we about that. Are we saying, or how long would we say this is going to happen? Is it going to be in 2026, 2027? Okay. How long will these, the theme, uniting for a glaucoma-free world? So are we saying something in that aspect, that there will be a time where everyone will be free from glaucoma?
Okay, so glaucoma...
Now, before we go into
causes,
yes.
Glaucoma is something that is likely to be with us for a long time. But as ophthalmologists, we do not want anyone to needlessly go blind from glaucoma. When we say uniting for a glaucoma-free world, we're advocating for early diagnosis, so early detection, and treatment and follow-up. So these days, glaucoma or these chronic diseases that are like lifelong, they're not just things that you leave only to the doctor. So the patient should start getting involved in it. They should start having a lot of information about the condition and spreading the information as well, ensuring that their relatives get checked or screened for glaucoma, ensuring that they have the right information about glaucoma and its treatment, so that nobody gets blind. So I don't think it's something that would be eradicated completely, but we do not want, or at least we can bring down the numbers of blindness, or bring down the number of secondary glaucomas.
Okay. All right, so let's take a look at the possible causes of glaucoma.
So most of the time, we're not able to find the cause for glaucoma. So usually we'd hear things like risk factors, the things that increase a person's chances of developing glaucoma. So that's things like age, like we mentioned earlier, so 40 years and above, people that have high pressures in their eyes for any reason, and then people of African descent, for example, for some reason, you and I have increased risk of having glaucoma compared to Caucasians or white people.
And why is that so?
Maybe genetic reasons. And it's the same way the Asians are also prone to the kind of glaucoma that can cause pain, the angle closure, the one that's called angle closure glaucoma. Then people that are short-sighted, that have difficulty seeing far with large eyeballs, those ones are also at increased risk of having glaucoma. People that that are hypertensive or diabetic are at increased risk of having glaucoma. So in many cases, we can't, these are just people, then family history too. So if a father or a mother or a child has glaucoma, the other people in the family that family is at increased risk of having glaucoma compared to the general population. Then when you want to now talk about the secondary glaucomas, or glaucomas that something causes, you now start looking at things like trauma. And it's in these cases that you may have glaucoma in one eye and not the other. So a punch in the face or on the eye, or chemicals spilling into the eye can cause glaucoma. Then certain inflammations like uveitis. Uveitis is just one big term for inflammation. Inflammation is just the body's response to any nauseous stimuli. So it can be trauma, it can be infection, it can be anything really. So that response is inflammation. So when this brown part of the eye and the rest of it gets inflamed, it can cause the pressures inside the eye to get elevated and then cause secondary glaucomas in that case. Then if you have any tumor inside the socket that is pressing on the eyeball, the person can have glaucoma from raised pressures. Then steroids, very important. They are a group of drugs that belong to a particular name, steroids called corticosteroids. Both tablets and eye drops, once they are taken indiscriminately, unfortunately in our environment we can get a lot of these things over the counter. And I've seen many people that have developed glaucoma because they just go to a drugstore and they say, oh, I'm having body aches. Still, prednisolone is one of the tablets that is easily handed out or sold to patients.
So we do well not to make mention of the drugs.
It's not a trade name. It's just the pharmacological name. So that's just an example of this of steroid. So when that is used for a long time, or when the eye drops equivalent.
Also, persons can actually go over the counter and say, I need eye drop. And
yes, there are different kinds of eye drops. There are antibiotics, there are antifungals, different kinds of eye drops. So you now go and get a steroid eye drop. Maybe your eyes they're very strong drugs, both the tablets and the eye drops. Like maybe your eyes are itching or something, and then you go and get them, and then it works, and then you keep going to get that particular eye drop. Such a person can develop glaucoma. Yes, it's prone to developing glaucoma. I have seen cases of glaucoma so these are just a few cases that things would cause glaucoma.
Okay, so quickly now, can glaucoma be managed?
Glaucoma can be managed, managed, but not completely. So treatment is lifelong. So when you say managed, I don't want to give the impression that it's just a once and for all treatment. So most of the time, the person would have to be on something to reduce the pressures in the eye. So it's either with eye drops or with laser or with surgery. Everything is targeting the pressures, reducing the pressures because that's the only thing that has been found to reduce or halt the progress of the glaucoma. Yes.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Dalintres. Your last, your advice, yes, to everyone out there.
So for everyone listening, I would say if you have someone in your family that has glaucoma, please check your eyes. If you fall into the category of people that we have mentioned before, 40 years, you're short-sighted, check your eyes. Then generally protect your eyes from the sun. If you are working with chemicals, wear protective goggles. If you are working with light, if you are working in industries where there would be we are prone to trauma, eye trauma. Like if you are an iron bender or you file iron a lot, these things that would cause trauma. So reduce your chances of having trauma to your eyes. And then just generally, if you are hypertensive or diabetic, make sure you take your drugs and have a habit of checking your eyes generally.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Dalintres Oronsai. Thank you for educating and giving us an eye-opener as far as glaucoma is concerned. Please do go check your eyes. It's very important. Remember, health is wealth. So I'll be seeing you again next week for another exciting time. Do take good care of yourself. Bye for now.